So we often get asked about factoring and the fact that it has some negative connotations around that word factoring and really what it is. And it's not as well of an understood product, financing product as it could be, but we're here to kind of tell you a little bit about, why it's not so scary and why it really works for a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of companies, and really helps them with their growth. So,
In fact, in general, I think not only is it a little bit misunderstood with that apprehension, but it's, one of those products that is billions of dollars a year, and I think people think it's not as big as it is.
yeah, and you look at actually what it is and what it does for these companies. So, when you look at factoring, you're generally dealing with a company that's growing pretty rapidly. And how do you grow without cash? Well, when you sell something and you create an invoice and your customers aren't going to pay for 30 or 45 or 60 days, how are you supposed to make payroll or pay your vendors?
Yeah, and it's a great way to do that, to leverage receivables, to get money in the bank now. However, I think one of the scary things that people feel is that it's from a point of weakness versus strength, meaning my customers might find out, and if they find out, they're going to think I'm not doing as well.
Right. And the reality is, the companies that are paying us, as an example, as a factoring companies, which are our clients' customers, they're paying a bunch of other factoring companies. They're used to this type of financing. Where people are a little afraid of it is when they don't know what it is and they've never heard of it.
And on top
Generally,
of that,
their clients, our clients' customers know what factoring is, and they're paying other companies.
and usually within those clients or customers of theirs, it's a AP department's completely separate from the guy, the contractor, the side of it that they're dealing with, completely separate department that's set up to handle that. So yeah.
Well, they literally, all they care about is where they're supposed to send the check.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Which is another point that sometimes people think is a bit scary, which is, where does the check go to? Well, there is a change of P.O. box sometimes, but it doesn't always have to be a change from the client's name to the factoring company's name. Sometimes it can stay in the actual client's name, and it's just a simple change of P.O. box. There's a lot of things, depending on the contract and how it's done, that sometimes people worry a little bit too much about, I think,
Yeah, I haven't come across any situations where our clients' customers looked at it as a negative thing or they lost business. In fact, in a lot of cases, our clients' customer is actually happy to know that they've got access to capital and that they're making their payroll and paying their vendors.
Absolutely. The most important thing is to fulfill that job, to fulfill payroll, to get financing in place that ultimately helps that company move forward. And I think factoring is a tremendous way to accomplish that.
I'm Jason Severson.
Greg Solomon, Primary Funding.